What is up, yo? It's V2 here. I'm actually at my recording studio, so the setting is different again. I probably gonna try to start recording more videos here because my webcam here is much better. Shout out to my boy Sadia, and I think it just looks a little bit cuter than being in my bedroom or at work. But just came from Bound of Glory, some TNA event. Jeff Hardy's my favorite wrestler, so I had to go see that. But main point is this video is about the Drake lawsuit being dropped. Am I surprised about this? No, I'm really not. And I kind of hate that I have to make this video. I don't have to, but I know I should because the purpose of my channel right now is trying to be up to date with like any rap news. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing my best to be consistent. The reason why I don't want to make this video is because I don't want to be in this place where, like, you know, oh, Drake fan, Kendrick fan. I like Drake music. I like Kendrick music. Who's my favorite artist? Kendrick for sure. But, you know what I'm saying, like, it's so toxic in terms of just, like, choose your side, especially on Twitter, X, whatever. It's so toxic on that platform. And hearing, you know what I'm saying, like, the lawsuit and everything that happened, I really wish the lawsuit never existed in the first place because I feel like Drake was just unaware of how big the song was because I feel like the people around him and everywhere he went would just avoid having that song being played around him while at the same time this song is being played all over the world, like everywhere. I remember last year when the Celtics won the NBA Finals in Boston, I went to the parade or whatever. Like, they was playing Not Like Us. You heard it in, like, NBA games and everywhere. I feel like I just heard this song everywhere. And to him to make this claim about the bots and all that stuff, bro, who cares, bro? You know what I'm saying? About the view count. I think the main purpose about the rap beef is about just rapping back and forth with each other and see who had the best song. Simple as that. Like, Push-Ups was, to me, was like actually a good song. I think I liked it more than Family Matters, to be honest. But, bro, Not Like Us was the killer. My favorite one is low-key the Meet the Grams on some shit, but I don't play that. That's kind of wild. But we're going to get to the video. This is by Blackie Speaks. Shout out to Blackie. I watch this channel a lot, and let's just get to it, man.
Now, like a lot of people might remember, last year Drake decided to take legal action over Kendrick Lamar's song, Not Like Us. He went after Universal Music Group, the same label that's been behind him his entire career, accusing them of artificially boosting the popularity of Kendrick's track during their beef. Drake, through his company, Frozen Moments LLC, claimed that Universal and Spotify were involved in an illegal scheme using bots, payola, and secret deals to push Not Like Us to the top of the charts. According to Drake's lawyers, Universal did not rely on chance, and they said that the label launched a full-blown campaign to manipulate streaming services and airwaves in Kendrick's favor. Universal ended up firing back instantly, calling the claims offensive and untrue, insisting fans simply chose the song they wanted to hear. Neither Kendrick nor Spotify publicly responded to any of this at the time, and at the time, this wasn't a full-blown lawsuit. It was what's known as a pre-action petition, meaning Drake's team wanted to preserve any evidence that could support a potential case later on. But the bigger picture here is how all this ties back to Not Like Us, the record that became the decisive blow in the Drake versus Kendrick feud. And Drake's filing pointed out that the track's massive success, 96 million streams in 7 days, #1 in the US, and eventually became a global hit. They argue that those numbers were artificially inflated.
Y'all know I never knew Nipsey Hussle was in that music video till now.
Lawyers even claimed that Universal cut royalty rates by 30% so Spotify would recommend the song more often, and cited a source who said that they were paid $2,500 to run bots that streamed the track nonstop, basically turning it into a manufactured hit. And then some fans alleged that when they asked Apple's voice assistant to play Drake's album Certified Lover Boy, it would
What is that music video, bro?
instead play Not Like Us.
Seen that.
Drake's lawyers claimed that he had tried to handle everything privately, but Universal had no interest in taking responsibility. They even claimed the company tried to cover it up, allegedly firing staff who were seen as being too loyal to Drake. Their argument was simple: streaming is a zero-sum game. If one artist gets boosted, another one gets buried. And in Drake's eyes, that's exactly what happened. Now, Universal denied everything, calling the accusations absurd, and reminded everyone that fans chose what they wanted to hear. And since all this came out after the beef was already over, ended up shaping a certain perception of Drake, like he couldn't let it go, or that he was trying to fight a cultural loss through the courts instead of music. In other words, people felt like, damn, this guy isn't really accepting the loss. And the timing couldn't have been more symbolic because this filing came just days after Kendrick.
And by the way, this puts a lot of pressure for his album, I think it's called Iceman, that's coming up. Because people was already hating about the promotion of it. I watched, like, some parts of it. I'm not the type to go watch a whole live stream for, like, an hour or so. But this shit has to, like, hit, bro. And I really hope that it's, like, a straight rap album for real. I know he likes to have, like, his little dance hall music on the side, but I really want Drake to be in his bag, hopefully, but
dropped his surprise album, GNX, widely seen as a follow-up to Not Like Us. Then a few weeks later, in January of this year, Drake took things even further. He officially filed a defamation lawsuit against Universal Music Group, the same company both him and Kendrick released music through. And fast forward to now, things have officially taken a turn, because just recently a judge dismissed Drake's defamation lawsuit over Not Like Us. The court ruled that Kendrick's lyrics couldn't be taken as factual statements, calling them non-actionable opinion. Basically, the judge said that this was a part of a heated rap battle, not a literal accusation, and that was the very thing that Drake was trying to fight against. He was saying that Universal, the same company he's still under, unfairly targeted him and helped tarnish his reputation, not just by letting Not Like Us spread, but by what he called...
But what I don't understand about it is, like, didn't Drake diss Kendrick too and said some stuff about him? Like, I don't know, bro.
Artificial.
I don't know the law like that. You know?
Artificially inflating its success. And this is important because this idea has actually been discussed for a very long time. A lot of people online have questioned whether or not Not Like Us success was completely organic.
And the dude Drake literally said, like, yo, tell them about this. Like, he literally told Kendrick to, like, you know what I'm saying, diss me this way, and that's exactly what he did. And now you're gonna, I don't know, bro.
Or if it was being pushed harder than usual. That conversation started way before Drake filed the lawsuit. People were already debating how organic the song essentially was, and if the reach that it had was actually real. So when Drake officially took legal action, to a lot of people, that served as validation, like maybe there was some truth to those suspicions. But as the case went on, the public started to turn on Drake, right? Drake got heavily criticized for this particular lawsuit, and the general consensus became that he looked like a sore loser, someone who was trying to use the legal system to undo a loss that had already been decided musically. One of the things I believed about this particular case when it first happened is that it was all about controlling the narrative for Drake, because Drake generally felt like there were moves being made behind the scenes that gave Kendrick an unfair advantage. And from his perspective, this was his way of trying to expose it, right? And I always looked at it as this wasn't really about Not Like Us, the song. It was about the machine behind it, or what Drake alleged was the machine behind it. When Drake filed that pre-action petition and accused Universal Music Group and Spotify of artificially inflating the numbers for Not Like Us, he was also at the same time trying to expose...
And so what if he inflated the numbers, bro? It's a rap beef, bro. That's the thing I hate about, like, this number shit, bro. Like, let's just... Bro, you guys are two of the biggest rappers right now. Maybe even ever to some people. But just rap. You know what I'm saying? Who cares about the views? Even if there was bots or not, bro. You know what I'm saying? People are going to make their choice of who really won the beef. You know?
Something he thought was bigger than the rap beef itself. He felt like the system itself was rigged against him. But to me, that never really made sense, though, because Drake himself is a machine. He's benefited from the same system his entire career, right? From playlists to radio pushes to marketing rollouts. And Drake has always been one of the biggest names in the industry. We already know that, right? So for him to suddenly kind of turn around and say that the system's unfair.
Another reason why I do hate, like, making these videos is, like, me as an artist myself, I really, like, you know, hope and pray that, you know, I'm up there as, like, a respected artist with a good fan base or whatever. And I don't want these videos coming back to haunt me and people like, oh, yeah, he said this and this about him. That's why I try to keep it neutral as possible. No matter if it's Logic, Drake, Kendrick, whatever. Say my opinion and then just hope that, like, yo, we'll still work on some music, hopefully, at the end of the day.
To him, It's kind of ironic. At the same time, this is what he's saying, and so I feel like it's fair to bring up his side. Now, to this day, I still don't believe that Kendrick would ever knowingly be a part of something so shady, knowingly, because personally, I don't look at it as this is who he is, because Kendrick's entire career has been built on authenticity and integrity.
That is 100% facts.
So to think that he'd allow fraud or manipulation.
And if there was bots, I'm pretty sure Kendrick had nothing to do with it. He don't give a damn about no freaking bots, bro.
Around his music doesn't really make any sense to me. What I do believe is that the industry machine around these two artists can blur the lines between marketing and manipulation. At that level, things get messy, and sometimes the moves labels make for profit can cross into questionable territory without the artist ever knowing. And so that's what I personally think happened. And when I first spoke on this, I said that Not Like Us was pushed harder than your usual rap song, because obviously we all know that it wasn't
it's the biggest rap beef, like, damn near ever.
Regular rap song, not because Kendrick needed the help, but because Universal knew how much momentum that record could create, which it eventually did. And the song generated a lot of dinero. So after this recent court dismissal, it's obvious that Drake's plan didn't land the way he expected. He tried to turn what he saw as manipulation into a legal argument, but the judge basically said, this was rap, not reality. And so when you lose a rap battle and take it to court, people stop seeing it as a fight for fairness. They see it as you trying to undo your loss. And, Drake is one of the most intelligent artists in hip-hop. He's not just reacting. He's also trying to control the story long term. And that's exactly what I personally think that this lawsuit was about. He wanted to rewrite how this moment could be remembered 10 years from now. But now that it's been dismissed, the opposite kind of happened. It cemented Kendrick's win even more in a lot.
You were better off just hey, everyone has their opinion who won. Even after Not Like Us dropped, some people still thought Drake was the better artist. Not artist. Let me not go that far. People thought that Drake won the beef. Keep that fan base. You do your own thing. Kendrick opinions. You know what I'm saying? Just it is what it is, bro. Just don't do too much, man.
Ways. Now, going over some of the specifics of why it was dismissed. The judge who was handling this case, Jeanette Vargas, officially ruled that Kendrick's lyrics, where he accused Drake of being a certified pedophile, couldn't be taken as literal statements. She called them non-actionable opinion. In simple terms, the court said this was a part of a heated rap battle, a war of words, not something meant to be believed as factual. In a 38-page order, the judge described the Drake and Kendrick feud as the most infamous rap battle in the genre's history. She said both artists had thrown around incendiary language and offensive accusations at each other, and that any reasonable listener would understand it was lyrical warfare, not a news report. She even referenced Drake's own song, Tailor Made Freestyle, where he used an AI-generated Tupac voice to tell Kendrick, talk about him liking young girls. That's a
You literally told him to do it, and he did it.
gift from me. And the judge pointed out that Kendrick's line, say Drake, I hear you like him young, that part right there from the song, was clearly a callback to the exact same lyrics that Drake said, right? Meaning in her eyes, Kendrick wasn't creating a new allegation. He was responding to something that Drake himself put into the battle. And this is
that backfire is insane. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What the judge is saying, right? And that context ended up being a huge part of why this case got tossed out. The court basically said, look, this was a rap feud filled with trash talk, threats, and exaggeration. No one listening to these songs would reasonably believe they were hearing verifiable facts. Drake's legal team had accused Universal Music Group of running a campaign to create a viral hit out of Kendrick's record, one that spread a dangerous false narrative about him. But the judge disagreed, and she said that even apparent statements of fact can become an opinion when they're part of something like a pub.
It really feels like everyone hating on Young Money for the past year. When it comes to Wayne, Nicki, whatever. But let me not do that right now.
Dispute or heated.
I hope I get to work with every single artist I mentioned in this video.
Artistic exchange. So after the ruling, Universal, they didn't really hold back. And they said that Drake's lawsuit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression, and that it never should have seen the light of day. They added that they're happy with the outcome and plan to keep working with Drake moving forward. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Drake said that he plans to appeal the decision, hoping that the court takes another look at it. As for Kendrick, he hasn't commented on this case at all ever since everything happened. So it looks like Drake might have lost the final battle.
He definitely mentioned it in the Super Bowl performance. By the way, I don't know why people hated it so much. I think people just expected him to have like Good Kid, Mad City songs on there and everything. But I kind of liked how he kept it like up to date with what he does now. Currently, it was a risk, but I think it followed through and it went well for real. So shout out K Dot.
Against Kendrick, man. But then again, the lawsuit was never really about Kendrick himself. It was about the machine, the system behind everything that Drake said pushed all these allegations against him. From the start, I didn't really think this case was going to hold up in court. I mean, the only thing I thought could have maybe had a chance was the, pedophilia part, because that's one of the most damaging things you can accuse anyone of, right? If anything was going to fall under defamation, it would have been that. But here's the thing, when you decide to engage in a rap battle, you're stepping into the court of public opinion, not an actual courtroom. And I think that's what Drake was really fighting. The perception, the memes, the headlines. To me, it was a lost cause from the start, though. But at the same time, no one really knows why Drake pushed it as far as he did, considering how calculated...
It makes me feel like he must have known something that maybe was true, but maybe we'll never know. And it doesn't matter. Like,
Drake is. I can't help but feel like there's something deeper behind why he did all this. My best guess, it was about narrative control, trying to shape how this moment will be remembered, even if the outcome didn't go his way. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say, though. Drop a like before you leave, and let me know in the comment section below, was this Drake trying to protect, was this him trying to protect his legacy, or just do you look at him as a sore loser? Okay, I'm very curious.
I don't know, man. All I can say is this. Shout out to Drake. Shout out to Kendrick. Two great artists. Even shout out J. Cole. Screw it. These three have influenced my music so much, so heavily. And, they made 2024, so lit in terms of, the rap genre. So it's kind of unfortunate this whole situation happened, but let me know what y'all think. Comment, like, and subscribe, and more videos coming soon for sure.